All right, what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Armon, and we're back with another video, okay? And it's time to get into some ass. Some things, if you know what I mean. This Shannon Sharpe stuff is just getting messier and messier and messier by the day, okay? So we took one day off, and everything just started just going to, okay, literally. All right, so now what we know is, if you guys been following the story, you know that Shannon Sharpe is being sued by 21-year-old OnlyFans model Gabriella Zaninga. But before that, we didn't know what she looked like. But now we have a picture of her. Now we know what she looks like. So here's what she looks like. That's her. She looks like a kid, huh? She looks really, really young. So this is who Shannon Sharpe was doing the race bait play, with. This is the woman. This is the woman that wanted the big black gravy. This is the woman that wanted the big black baby. This is the woman, all of these things, right? And so since we last talked, audio has came out where Shannon Sharpe says she recorded him, and Shannon Sharpe is saying that he was going to choke her. Then he also said he would choke her in public. Imagine that, big black guy chokes white woman, real kinky like. And then he also made a statement in regards to everything that has been put out. And more text messages have been put out. So we have a lot to get into. So first, let's get into his statement that he made.
Orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. Coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans. To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues.
Okay, and so there was that, right? And then there's the audio that she had released. Look at this.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just going to get mad at, and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Now, if you ask me, that sounded like a kinky choke. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like that's the type of conversations they were having, okay? Big black, baby gravy. You know what I mean? All of that, big black meat and all of that, and choke you and, put a baby in me, put the gravy in me, give me that nigga dick. You know what I mean? All of that, you big black ugly motherfucker. You know what I mean? All of that kind of stuff I feel like was going on. You white slutty bitch. You know what I mean? All of that. And so I feel like that was kind of the way that they talked. But I just feel like Shannon is old, Southern, probably Baptist, and don't know what the hell is going on. Don't realize he's being recorded. The nigga didn't even realize he was on live stream screwing his Michelle. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I just don't personally feel that he literally is taking advantage of her, manipulating her, graping her, and doing these things. But we're going to get into some more things. And then, I want you guys' thoughts on this too. Another audio was released where he said that he would choke her in public. Let's listen to this one.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well.
Big black guy chokes small white woman. How does he not know that he was being recorded? Like, she's clearly setting you up. Now, I'm not sure why this happened or what she did to him. I don't know if this was, I don't know. We don't know what the inner workings are. But I feel like that wasn't a choke, like I'm going to choke you, strangle you, I'm going to just, kill you or something. This was like, you pissed me off and now I'm going to, tie your tits up and, and come in your face or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I just kind of feel like that was their relationship. Put the baby grave in me. Call me a nigga with the hard R. You know what I mean? Call me an old dirty bastard motherfucker and, step on my nuts. You know what I mean? I feel like Shannon Sharpe probably somewhere was tied up with a gag ball, being whipped and called a nigga with the ER. You know what I'm saying? And while he was with his slutty white, teenage pop star princess. I don't fucking know. Something crazy and aloof and kinky like that. I just felt like that's how they played. You get this big old black, old rich motherfucker, nigga, slave, or master, whatever, and you choking the small, delicate princess white porcelain queen, and how does that look? And it turns me on, and I choke her and slap the shit out of her while she steps on my balls and sticks her tongue in my ass. I don't know, because she was talking like that too. And so I think what's happening is she's using the things that they do, the things that they talk about against him, because that is how they talked. That was their relationship. She was an escort, OnlyFans. He was paying her to live out his kinky fetishes, and she would talk like that with him. They would race play and race bait all day long. I'm sure she was in there calling Shannon all kind of old dirty niggas with the ER. Okay, and they were playing slave master. He was the big black nigga slave, and she was the white woman slave owner. You know what I mean? I'm sure they played Shannon Sharpe and Britney Spears. That was probably, his Christina Aguilera. You never know. And I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about Christina at the Disney Channel. That's the only thing that really got weird for me, Shannon. The fact that she's 19 and you're talking about choking small white woman out. If you're going that far with it, you may slip up and say chokes out big black old fuckers, nigger fuck, chokes out, small young white teen girl. You know what I mean? I feel like that wouldn't be too far-fetched. And so I think that Shannon has blurred the mental line of kinky and perverted. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch that, because a lot of people are like, well, Shannon, what were you even doing with her? Like, why are you getting so in your bag to where you are just so aloof and so far gone where you're not even paying attention to, A, this woman is setting the stage to sue you, and then 2, she's just too young for you to be talking to her like that. It just looks crazy. So then it also came out that he offered the woman $10 million. This is what gets interesting. He offered the woman $10 million before the case went public, okay? And so he said that they were in mediation and everything was, going well, but then she walked away from the deal. And he was actually surprised that she walked away from the deal because he wanted to settle this quietly. And so people are like, well, why did you offer her the money if you didn't do anything? You know what I mean? If this is a shakedown, well, in my mind, there's these text messages that recently came out of Shannon Sharpe and her, and I'm not going to put them on the board. I'm going to read it. This is what she said, okay? I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my ass. And you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this. And Shannon said, can I call you later? What? So Shannon, you done fucked around and put it in this woman's ass. And that was this year, 2025. That literally was in January. Okay. And now you're saying, can I call you later? Also, this is on June 14, 2024. I want to be abused, daddy. This was what she said to Shannon. And then she said, I want like some hardcore BDSM action though, okay? And so so that goes to show you everything I said. They were tying each other up. He was probably punching her, calling her all kind of white pretty sluts and stuff, pissing on her, whatever. And, she'd probably step on his back, kick him in the balls, and call him a nigga, what the hard ER. And he was, with a gag ball and a choker. And, and he was her slave. You know what I'm saying? Big Shannon Sharpe the slave. And then she probably had him over there barking like a dog and crawling on all fours and bro. You know what I mean? All kind of weird shit. And she probably sucked the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? And he probably like, yeah, hit me again. And she said, shut up, nigga. pow, hit him again. He hit me again, boom, and then kick him in the balls, and then step on his ass. You know what I'm saying? I feel like all that was happening. Then he'd go and choke her like she was some little girl, and then like hang her up, and then and she'd say, oh. You know what I mean? That'd run him about, $50K. You know what I'm saying? And after it's all said and done, he pay her about $50K. Then they get up and, she takes a break and maybe she'll come next time he's in town. You know what I'm saying? He'll run, $25K per cheek, and depending on how abusive it is, maybe another $50K on top of that. So maybe $100K for the weekend. You know what I mean? However, she was tired of that. She was ready for the millions. And so what I feel like happened was Shannon Sharpe around and put it in the wrong hole. And so he realized it was getting too good, and he took because they were doing the BDSM stuff and the race play and the soldier versus slave and the owner versus master game, you know what I'm saying? And they were in the middle of the slave trade. He had fought back, you know what I mean? And he had taken, the young white daughter of the slave owners, you know what I mean? And he was going to fight back for his family, and so what ended up happening is instead of putting it in the V, he took his power back and put it in the ass. But he thought that would be okay because they would, that was part of it, crossing the line and shut up, I'll choke you. Put it in my V. No, I'm going to put it and shove it in your ass. You know what I mean? And he didn't realize in that moment she was setting him up. What he thought was a forceful turned out to be a lawsuit because now she's able to say no means no, even though the history was no means yes, and do it harder and more aggressively and more, dangerously. You know what I mean? But now all of a sudden the no means no. And that's the tricky part with situations like this. This is why you can't be so freaky and kinky and nasty that you've lost your mind, because you can't be into the BDSM, the race baiting, and the race plan, because at the end of the day, some of that is still true. That's still a white woman, okay? And at the end of the day, she was playing the game for real. And now she's about to flip it on you. Not only did she play the race game, she played the white woman game and the young white girl game. So do I believe that Shannon Sharpe is guilty? No. Do I think he was going to give her the $10 million? Because he did fuck up and put it in the wrong hole? Yes. But do I think that he was doing it in a way to abuse her? No. Yes and no. And when I mean yes in the way that that's what they do. But no in a way to where it's like, I wasn't trying to take advantage of you. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I wasn't trying to, do something against the law. I thought we were in character because we had done this and been there before. However, she actually is manipulating the situation, taking advantage of the fact that Shannon Sharpe is old, rich, Southern Baptist. I don't know why it's just giving Southern Baptist for me, and don't understand really what's going on because he's just so, I don't know why did this man is so, everybody got their thing going on, but just so kinky and aloof that he's missing out on the setup here. He's missing out on the setup. The very thing that you liked about this girl, she then used it against you for a big payout. And if it goes to a jury, there's a 50-50 chance that, hey, somebody could see it the way that I'm seeing it, but then people could also see it in a way, well, you did offer her money, you did try to settle, you did put it in the wrong hole. No means no, no matter what the history is. So we're going to side with Gabby, and you could lose it all. So this is why you have to control your sexual urges. You can't go too far. And then also, this is a lesson to be learned that you can't be playing with these young OnlyFans girls and white women because they will turn on you. I 100% think that Shannon Sharpe is being shaken down and taken advantage of because of his lack of awareness when it comes down to his sexual history or what he likes. It's clear of what's going on. And it's only funny. Everybody has their own thing that they do in the bedroom, whatever. But it's just funny because it's like, sir, we don't need to know this. And sir, you need to get a grip. You are 55, 56 years old, running around here spending $25K per cheek on you choking out, small white young girl, having her spit in your mouth and stuff, tie you up, and then you fisting her and stuff like that, and she kicking you in the nuts, calling you a nigga with the ER, big black buff motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And probably over there stepping on dogs and, put the big fat black baby in me. That's what y'all was. Give me that baby gravy, you dirty motherfucker, Shaka Zulu ass nigga. You know what I mean? You Wakanda forever, son of a bitch. You know what I mean? It just was giving all of that. And, she probably was in there, fuck Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, fuck Wakanda, call me a nigga, bitch. Call me a nigga. Ooh. And every time she call him a nigga, he go, ooh, call me a nigga one more time. Ooh, she nigga. You know what I mean? And then so they would just be in there and then he'd slap the shit out of her. I know what happened. I'm telling you that's what happened. Oh, God. Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Shannon Sharpe, you got to really pull it together because here's the thing. The other reason, too, I feel like he probably offered her the money is because, no matter what happens, you never want something like this tied to your name publicly, whether it's true or false, okay? Because he has not only his podcast, he has probably a lot of brand deals and a lot of just inner workings business-wise, and he's on ESPN. So he could probably lose out on his job just by the mere fact that this is too much negative press. And so sometimes it's just like, well, I don't even want this out there. I don't even want to deal with this. Okay, girl, I put it in the wrong. Here's the $10 million. That's nothing to me. Go away. Bye. But then $10 million is a lot of money. That's what makes me feel like you really did it, but then you made a mistake. He made a mistake. It was getting too good. He was dogging her out. She was the white slut. You know what I'm saying? She was taking advantage. They probably was doing, she probably was in there saying, rape me, nigga, rape me, nigga, rape me, nigga, rape me, nigga, rape me, nigga. You want this motherfucking slave to rape you, white bitch? And then he's in here, rape me, nigga, rape me, nigga. And she said, and then she probably said, and don't put it in my ass. And he'll say, that's what you want. I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna just take it from you. I'm gonna take it from you, you young girl, and then just shoved it in her ass. And she, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And she used that moment to sue him because it was getting so good. I think they was probably at the point where they was having a great play, where he would be the slave taking it from her, and then he went and took the other hoe too. Around and got him a lawsuit. Ain't that a fool? Wow. Now, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Shannon Sharpe is guilty, or is this just a game of hide and go nigga gone wrong? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and until next time, keep that same energy, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.